Good morning. Great day here in the Valley, and a really exciting day for our football program. Really like the direction our program's going with this class. I think it's going to be a backbone of our program going forward. Before I start talking more about them, at this point want to thank our coaching staff, all the people on campus who helped us out, faculty who spent weekends with our prospective student athletes, our admissions folks, people in compliance, our trainers, all the people that are involved in trying to put recruiting weekends together. They were fantastic and really sent a great message about the great people here at Fresno State. This class addresses a lot of needs that we had. In signing 22 young men, you got to balance it out between offense and defense. We definitely wanted to strengthen our offensive line numbers-wise, and we signed 5 young men that I think have done that. Linebacker-wise, we've lost a couple seniors a year ago that we needed to backfill. We were a little thin from a year ago, and we signed 4 linebackers that we really are excited about. And then in the secondary, having 4 new defensive backs come in, I think will help us in a couple of ways. One, obviously, our deficiencies we had a year ago in the secondary, but by having more linebackers, by having more defensive backs, and a couple of really outstanding tight ends, I think our special teams are going to be affected by having those type of bodies that are long guys that can run to help us out. So with that, we'll open it up. One more thing, I'm sorry. With all this excitement going on for today, with what we've had with the last 2 championships, we're hoping people jump on board with season tickets. We're looking to three-peat next year, and with this year's recruiting class, we think we got a great shot at putting together another team that's going to make a championship run. So jump on board now.
Again, for questions, we got a mic back here. Just raise your hand.
Coach, were there any specific areas of the country that you wanted to target to get these guys? Because you've got guys from Florida, guys from Texas, obviously from California.
We always start right here. We start in the city of Fresno, and we work out from the Valley. The majority of our young men are going to come from California. And this year, again, it bore out that way. But I do think it's good to have a national look at things. And with the internet now, you don't have to necessarily get in a plane to identify prospects, and the network of people that our coaches know throughout the country helps us get some eyes in places that we don't necessarily have to go to until we've identified a prospective player that fits what we're looking for. And so again, our ideal is probably 80% of our class or so, which is I don't have a calculator here, but I think it's somewhere around there that we sign that. We're going to get a handful of guys from Texas from our connections there. And we've got a couple guys from Florida, and there's always talent coming out of Florida. And this year we got a guy out of New Orleans, but really that kind of cheats a little bit because he's really a Fresno guy that wanted to come back, in Keon Williams.
You talk about starting in Fresno, but there's only one guy in the recruiting class who's actually from Fresno. Is there any particular reason for that?
I think the reason is that young men decide to go to schools for a number of reasons. We offered and recruited hard the entire city. And sometimes we have needs in areas that don't fit what a recruit's looking for, and sometimes we may not have a spot, at a particular position. So there's a number of different reasons for that, but Pete Germano is a strong recruiter for us. He always has been. He's got great relationships with kids, and he knows that this is a very important area for us, and he does a great job. But sometimes kids want to go out of town.
Coach, you talk about being excited about this year's class, and now that you can officially talk about them since they're Bulldogs, what are your thoughts on Michael Lazarus and him using Twitter to try and recruit guys to come to Fresno State?
Well, I really have been impressed with Michael's character. He's a young man that gave us his word that he was going to be a Bulldog a while ago. He had a lot of BCS schools make runs at him, trying to convince him to go other places, and he held strong, and we're excited to have him as part of our family. I think because of the social media and so many players being on it, he wanted to use that format to try to get some more teammates. And I know he, made a lot of contact with young men, and obviously we don't direct that, but I like guys who feel ownership in this program and want to go out and get other great players and student athletes to come to Fresno State with them and help us win championships.
Coach, this is your third signing day, your second with a full recruiting period. How would you rate how you're doing? I mean, are you doing what you want to do? Is it all coming together for you, or are you still kind of in that, brand new, well, not necessarily right now, but brand new kind of period at Fresno State?
No, I mean, I don't know how we let the rating services do that. I'm really excited about the class we have. These guys fit what we're looking for. We talk in our coaching staff all the time about finding our kind of guys. And sometimes you look on tape and a guy is outstanding, and the coach may say good things about him, but as you get to know that young man, particularly on weekends, you say, you know what, he's maybe not the right fit for us. We have them go with our players, and our players give us feedback on whether or not they're the right fit. We want to bring guys that are going to have great chemistry with our current group, guys that believe in what we believe in and our core values. And you don't do that just by looking at the tape. So I think our staff is doing a great job of identifying, talented guys, and then more importantly, going into depth into their character and finding out academically do they fit, character-wise do they fit, and from that standpoint, I'm really pleased with our staff.
Coach, for you personally, the recruiting period leading up to this day, how does that compare excitement-wise or energy-wise to a season leading up to a conference championship?
Well, it's different. I mean, the thing that is really, to me, fulfilling about my job is that we have seasons. There's the football season, which, obviously everyone identifies with. But once that season's over, and really it's a constant battle, but you're now into a full-time recruiting season, and so you change gears, your job shifts, and you pack your bags and you get ready to go and meet the future. And so it's a different challenge. It's kind of like the seasons. So now this season's over, and while we continue to recruit, the next focus is on developing our current players and getting ready for spring ball. And I'm really excited about that challenge. I've challenged our players when we first came back this semester that, hey, no disrespect to Derek and Devontae, but we're not the fighting Derek Carrs. We're not the fighting Devontae Adams. We're the fighting Bulldogs. And who are going to be the Derek Carrs of this year's team? Who's going to be the Devontae Adams? We're going to find that out in the weight room and on the football field in the next couple of weeks. And then come springtime, they'll have that opportunity to solidify who those guys are going to be.
Coach, you have one quarterback in this class, Kilton Anderson, who is from Florida but played his senior year in Washington. Interesting scenario there. With an open battle at quarterback, I guess, what are your thoughts on that position, and does he have a chance to possibly come in and compete right away, or do you think that the guy might be the one who's already in the program?
I anticipate it's going to be someone who's here on campus right now. I think it's really difficult to ask a true freshman to come in the summertime and earn a job at a Division I university, especially playing the kind of schedule we play. Having said that, we think very, very highly of Kilton, and we've told him, there's no inheritance here. Whoever is the best player is going to play. But I like our three guys that are currently here on scholarship. They're going to battle it out this spring, and I know Coach Ram's got a plan to develop them to their fullest, and we're excited about that competition. Probably won't be decided coming out of spring, I don't anticipate, but about 2 weeks into camp we will.
You touched on it earlier about how it's easier to recruit when you win a conference championship, and you guys have obviously won 2 in a row. Does it also help with the new 5-year contract that you have sitting in front of recruits and saying, hey, I'm going to be the coach for your entire time here, because players get attached to the coaches?
Absolutely, because that was one of the big negatives we were getting from recruits, especially up until that point, was, Coach, everybody's telling us, that, hey, don't like Fresno State too much because that coaching staff's not going to be there. And the fact that our administration had faith in what we're doing and wants to keep us going for the next 5 years has been a big recruiting help, and so we're very appreciative of that.